Good afternoon, and welcome back to my Total War Warhammer replay. I am playing good old Norsca versus the Empire. In my front line, I went with a mixture of Marauders and then Marauder Champions with shields. I mean, just in case he has a lot of crossbowers or basically handgunners and stuff like that, I wanted to have, shields. So front line basically just, sort of tar pitting. They're going to be taking up, a lot of the gunfire, but they've got shields, of course, and they won't be great swords, but they'll beat most of the Empire infantry. Behind them, I've got two Marauder Hunters with javelins, anti-large, pretty, self-explanatory. I mean, basically there to deal with Karl Franz or any cavalry. My Lord, Wolfric the Wanderer, on his little horse here. He's shielded. He's a duelist. He can basically go, head-to-head with Karl Franz, which is what the plan was with him. He also has, he's got Hunter of Champions, which is really good at debuffing the Lords. And he's also got the Sword of Torgold. Torgold? But basically, he's plus 75 weapon damage. Also took a Shaman Sorcerer of Death. I was meant to take Fade of Buna, is that how you said? But for some reason, I only have Spirit Leech. So I only have one spell on him, which... but Spirit Leech, actually, to be fair, it's still a good thing. You can overcast it, which basically gives you more range. But yeah, I'm going to be trying to snipe any casters or lords with it. But I've also got the Scroll of Shielding, so you can give 22% damage resistance to any unit in case they're trying to get sniped. So that's also very good. In the back here, got some Mist Stalkers, which are the Familiar Warriors. These guys have Stalk, they have Armor Sundering, really nice against Empire because they can't be shot down with any cannons or anything like that. Over here, we've got some Skin Walls, Armoured. These guys are just in case they have any Demi-Griffs or anything like that are going to try and put, some damage into my army. And then, lastly, we've got some Chariots here, Marauder Chariots. They're just there in case he goes quite wide. And we've got two Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes, and then some the Norsca Warhounds. These guys are really good as well. They have anti-large. They're basically really good against Empire. They're really fast as well. And I've also got some Norsca Warhounds on this side, just the normal one that's basically getting in the back line. As for my opponent, on the side here, he does have some Pistoliers. These guys are nice against Norsca because, of course, they're very fast. They're quite hard to catch, and, of course, they do a lot of damage when shooting into sort of a lot of these units because a lot of them don't really have much armor. So, in case I have Berserkers, these were a good pick. For his Lord, he has Karl Franz, very, very powerful Lord, very, very scary to 1v1, but Wolfric can stand his own against Karl Franz, he can put in a bit of work. He's also got a Jade Wizard here with Earthblood and, what has he got? He got Earthblood, let's see what he's got. He's got Earthblood, Regrowth, and he's got the Power Stone to give himself more, more charge. But he's got two Flagellants in the front line. Nice pick as well, in my opinion, because these guys have Frenzy, they're damage dealers, and they're unbreakable, so they're not going to rout against any of this. They'll just fight to the end. He's also got two Spearmen in here, just in case I go with a lot of Famir. He's got some crossbowmen, which of course I did prepare for, but yep, two crossbows and some Free Company militia, which will, they'll do some nice damage. Actually maybe not. I thought he took handgunners, but I guess he didn't. But yes, we've got some Free Company militia. They'll do some nice damage as well to a lot of my, in case I bought Berserkers. He's then got some more spearmen on that side. He's taken the Royal Aldolf Griffites, which are the anti-large Demigriff Knights. These guys look absolutely beautiful. Such a cool looking unit. I love how Warhammer just has so many iconic units. But these guys looking beautiful as always. Empire Knights, and in the back here, he does have the Hammer of the Witches, I believe. Yep, the Hammer of Witches, anti-large, armor-piercing, great cannon, very, very good against Norsca. A lot of things they can shoot at, and he's got some spearmen protecting it. So let's get right to this game. So what happened? We started with a bit of a sort of back and forth over here. We were sort of, I'm going to speed it up because this was a sort of bit of a back and forth, really. We were sort of understanding what we both had. We both were quite experienced. I could tell that the way he was playing, he was a good player, and he actually understood how to sort of pick at units, don't push in without sort of understanding what all the units have. So we were just sort of feeling out here. I sent these Marauder Hunter Javelins up just in case they start, because he does get a bit of nice damage on my Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes, but yeah. We're just sort of back and forthing right now. I do send the Norscan Warhounds on the other side to basically get, just to see, because unfortunately, over here, I couldn't see what his army was. So I sent the Norscan Warhounds just over here, just so I could have a look at what exactly I'm dealing with, because this is really important for anyone who's new out there. Make sure you just have, if you chance, just look at what your opponent's got, because it can be really important. Even just looking at their casters and just checking what spells they've got, it can be really helpful just knowing, what you're going up against in a fight. But yeah, so I'm still feeling him out. Over here, we're still just going back and forth. This was really just a bit of a sort of dog fight over here. We're just sort of learning. I did bring the Norscan Warhounds up with anti-large, but they started getting shot by the Great Cannon, so I brought them back straight away. But at this point, yep, I decided, okay, fuck this. I'll be the one to make the move because I am Norsca. I don't really have any way of, dealing with it. He does, I believe, try to shoot Wulfric the Wanderer with his great cannon, but luckily, you know, it's quite a small target on his horse. He's not as big as he is on his mammoth. So I try to get behind this nice little stone pillar thing here, because actually that provides quite a nice little bit of cover from that great cannon in the back there. But yeah, I'm sending the chariots in straight away. I thought, okay, let's see if we can get some nice damage. But Karl Franz does come in and try to snipe out my Marauder chariot. But I was prepared for this. I had the Norsca and Warhounds, which have the anti-large, of course, the Regiment Renown, chasing him down. I do believe Karl Franz does get away, though. Yeah, he does just get away, so I pull them back very, very quickly. I had the Javelins here as well to help. But yeah, I send the Norsca and Warhounds back after the Pistoliers, because he clearly had them on autopilot. So I thought, okay, well, these guys can just chase after these and eventually catch them. Over here, I do cast a Spirit Leech on the Royal Ordolf Gryphites. But in the front line here, we have engaged. So over here, we've got the Marauders fighting against Spearmen. They'll win that matchup. Great Marauder champions over here fighting, and some more Marauders over here fighting. But yeah, the frontline engagement is happening. Chariots are coming back in. Royal Orfolk Gryphites are coming in as well and attacking my chariot. Not a great target, but I thought, okay, if they can fight this, then at least my Javelins can get some solid damage in. But the Skin Wolves are coming in, about to get a nice charge on the Royal Orfolk Gryphites. This is something that this is a nice sort of, a deal fight for me, because they're pinned in by these chariots. They've got the Javelins here shooting in, and the Skin Wolves are just coming in and starting to tear things to town. So that was really good for me. But yeah, they're doing some nice solid damage. The Famir over here, I sent them into the Free Company Militia because I didn't really have any other good targets. But over here, we do have a bit of a hard fight here between Wulfric and the Sorcerer of Death. So what I did is, I put Fight or Die on, the Sword of Torvgold, and I gave the Scroll of Shielding to Wulfric, okay? So Wulfric right now, very, very scary, very powerful, and isn't going to be taking as much damage. But Karl Franz, as you can see, he's taken already half of his health. He does, I believe, cast is it an Earthblood he casts on him right here? I think he's getting his Sorcerer, yeah, so his Jade Wizard is casting Earthblood on him. Oh no, it's Regrowth actually. Oh no, he uses Regrowth over here, trying to keep him alive. But Karl Franz taking some solid damage. But he does bring some Spearmen in, so I immediately pull Wulfric out, because I can see that Wulfric's taking damage and Karl Franz is taking damage. He does get a nice hit on my Sorceress of Death, so I try to pull him out of there really quickly as well. But Karl Franz taking a lot of damage, a lot of early damage. I sit using Spirit Leeches on him, so we both do sort of fall back out of there, because we noticed that both of these engagements were going very, very risky for us. Over here, it is going nicely. Marauders are sort of fighting against Flagellants, and so are doing reasonably well. These Marauder champions, though, have got onto the Jade Wizards and were managed to sort of rout her off, which is very nice. Famir in the back here fighting Spearmen, but I do believe I send them onto the Crossbowmen as soon as possible. Wulfric just chilling in the back here with his Javelins, making sure he's fully protected here. But yeah, over here, we've got some Norsca and Warhounds still coming in with the Skin Wolves armor, coming back into my front line. I just wanted to secure it over here. I have got some Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes here. I didn't realise, I think I put them on guard mode, so that's why they're kind of sitting here, not doing anything. But Karl Franz and the Jade Wizard are back into this fight. Balance power still very even. He's got these Empire Knights in here, coming in here and attacking my Marauders, so that's very good for him. And he's got another, going on to my Marauder champions. But over here, I do cast the little boats over here to come through and come through. What ability is that called? It's the Sea Fang, yeah, to come through, do a little bit of damage. Does miss, unfortunately. But I do cast another Spirit Leech onto Karl Franz here, trying to wear him down. But Karl Franz does come in onto Wulfric, does miss the charge, which was good for me. But this is not an ideal fight for me. Wulfric probably can't take Karl Franz on, especially not with stand your ground. He's going to basically be able to kill Wulfric very, very easily. So I pull Wulfric out of there, and I bring in the armored Skin Wolves back over here, trying to bring him back in, making sure that, if he is going to try and snipe Wulfric, I've got the armored Skin Wolves here. But over here, we've got still a bit of a, dogfight here between the Miststalkers that are Famir Warriors, fighting against Spearmen. Not the ideal fight, but there are some Marauder champions in there helping. But Karl Franz does come in here. He does try to get on Wulfric. I do believe he does get some nice solid damage on Wulfric, but I do cast the Hunter of Champions, which of course lowers his speed, lowers his armor, and his melee defense. So for against these Skin Wolves that are armored, they're going to be doing a good amount of damage to Karl Franz. So as you can see, if you look at Karl Franz's health, it's starting to melt and just go down very, very, very fast. But Skin Wolves unfortunately don't have the best leadership, so they do get recharged by Pistoliers and decide to rout off there, which was unfortunate. Wulfric over here, I start to pull him back towards my Javelins, because I thought, okay, well, if Karl Franz is still going to try and snipe Wulfric, I want the Javelins here, protecting my back line, protecting Wulfric at all costs. Over here, we did win this engagement quite nicely. The Famir is still alive, still got my Sorcerer of Death, but I charged him into the flagellants, still fighting over here. In the back, all this time, his great cannon, have just been shooting. I did try to send the Norscan warhounds around the side to try and deal with it, but unfortunately he did manage to get them with his cavalry, so very well played to him. The Marauders here are fighting against Spearmen, which is a good fight for me, but I'm still casting Spirit Leeches on Karl Franz here, but he does try to go for my Sorcerer here, but I've got the Javelins here, and they are doing some nice damage. Karl Franz only on 700 HP left. I think he does cast another regrowth here. Oh no, this time it's an Earthblood, so he does get those Spearmen in as well. But over here, his Free Company Militia are still shooting into these Marauder champions. He's still got some Empire Knights here. So it's, you know, it's a bit quite an even fight right now. Karl Franz is chasing off my Vermeer, which is very annoying, and he is sending those cavalry on it. I still do have the skin walls over here that are armoured coming back in, but his Great Cannon does decide to switch on to Wulfric now, and this is when it started getting a little bit worrying for me, because Wulfric is very low, and if I don't deal with, of course, all of these units, that if for example, if he snipes Wulfric, the Royal Orfolk Gryphites that have Fear and Terror will basically make a lot of my units rout very, very quickly, so I was very, very worried about that. But I luckily do get the skin walls in on the Great Cannon, as you can see, as it fires 2 more shots, and Wulfric on 177 HP, very, very low. So so basically he does start to rout up, but I do have the Sorcerers here, so that will provide some little bit of leadership and encouragement to all my other units. Over here, I do notice my Marauders with throwing axes here, and I do sort of start attacking the Pistoliers. Over here, though, he does send his Royal Orfolk Gryphites into my skin wall, so a bit of an even fight. Royal Orfolk Gryphites will win that, but I've got some Marauders here helping out as well, but skin walls do unfortunately lose. Balance of power still quite even. My Javelins here shooting into the Empire Knights. He does get a nice, well, unfortunately it's an uphill charge, so it won't be doing that much damage, but this is good actually for me, because if I get rid of these Empire Knights, then he won't have a lot of deals to do with my infantry. I send the Sorcerers in as well to sort of help get rid of these Empire Knights, get a nice rear charge in. Wulfric's still running off in my background over here, but my opponent does secure his backline over here. He does get my skin walls armoured off, and he does also sort of break my Marauders over here, so unfortunately, he does manage to secure his Great Cannons, and he's still got this Jade Wizard over here. I do believe, though, that Karl Franz does die to a Spirit Leech somewhere. Let's see, where did Karl Franz die? Oh, Karl Franz over here. So, yeah, Karl Franz, unfortunately, is dead Griffin over here. Death Claw did die to a Spirit Leech. I did manage to snipe him out, which was very, very nice of me. But I've still got some Marauder Champions coming in, setting them in against Free Company Militia, because, of course, he starts to shoot at my Sorcerer of Death here. But I was trying to get another Spirit Leech onto his Jade Wizard. I think I just managed to get it off and then get out of there just before I take too much damage. So I do get a Spirit Leech off, but I do believe, does he counter it? No, so he does get his Great Cannons back on though, and they start shooting into my was it my Javelins? I think he starts shooting into my Javelins. But overall, the battle is going very, very nicely for me. He still has his Royal Orfolk Gryphites, which won't rout as quickly because they have Fear and Terror, and they're not going to really get scared anything. But I've got my Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes here, throwing into them, and they've got armor piercing, so they're going to do some nice damage to these guys, get some units down. Over here, we do break the Free Company Militia. I send the Javelins in, start throwing them onto his Great Cannon to try and get rid of them as quickly as possible. But my opponent doesn't really have much left. He's got these Flagellants here, but other than that, everything else starts routing, and unfortunately it just becomes a bit of a grind on the Flagellants. I mean, they have pretty much nothing left. I do believe that there is quite a nice charge that does come in here somewhere, but where is it? Here you go. So he comes in, nice charge, as you can see, he goes flying over there into the Flagellants. But yep, we do win this. Very nice engagement. Only like one Flagellant left, and we do successfully win. Very, very well played to my opponent. I had a lot of fun in this match. I do like it when, you play against opponents that actually play fair. They aren't going to spam artillery against you. I suggest that if you have any more than 3 artillery, then you are playing a little bit of a cock against your opponent. But, no, I really well played to my opponent, and this was a very fun match. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.